Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, at the time you are watching this video. Today, our lesson, as you can see here, is going to be from Unit 13, Grammar Focus 3 on page 87 in your Interchange Book 2. And it's going to be about participles as adjectives. So let's start and see what do we mean by participles and how we use them as adjectives. Look at this example. This is Mary and this is Susan. Mary is telling herself or saying, "Oh, I'm bored." That's why she's using her cell phone to take some selfies. While Susan telling herself, "Oh, you are boring," and she means Mary. What is the difference between these two words, bored and boring? Both of them are from the same root, bored. But here we add ed to it, and there we add an ing. So both of them, originally they are verbs. Bored comes bored, and bore comes boring. Here, Mary is describing how she feels. Mary describing how she feels. She said, "Oh, I'm bored." While there, Susan is describing Mary as a boring person. So this is the difference. This is the main difference between using a verb with ed or a verb with ing and use it as an adjective either to describe the feeling of someone or to describe someone or something. And we are going to see more examples. So how we form the participle adjectives. We call them either present participle or past participle. Present participles is usually formed by adding ing. Like interest becomes interesting, bored, boring, excite, exciting, and so on. While past participles are adjectives, past participle as adjectives is usually formed by adding ed and sometimes en, but today we are going to focus only on adding the ed to the base word, to the base verb. Like interest becomes interesting. Present participles, ing, is used, as we said at the beginning, to describe something or someone. Like this example, I watched an interesting TV about American history last night. Or, this film is boring. So here we have interesting and we have boring. Interest, interesting, or boring. So these two words are used as adjectives to describe something. Here it is describing the documentary about the American history, and here boring describes the noun film. While past participles, which a verb plus ed, is used to describe how people feel about something or someone. Like the examples, I'm interested in American history, or I'm bored of my job. Or you can say, oh, this lesson is boring. This lesson is boring. You can say, I feel bored of this lesson. Okay? I hope it's not going to be like this. So, participle adjectives look like verbs, but they are not verbs. Originally they are verbs, but we add ed or ing and we use them as adjectives. What do adjectives do in a sentence? What is the function of an adjective? Adjectives describe. Describe what? Describe the noun in the sentence. So here is a question. In English, where do we usually put an adjective in a sentence? And the answer is, in English, there are two places they can go, the adjectives can go. Either before a noun, like this is a confusing grammar, or that was a boring movie, or after the verb be, am or is or are. This grammar is confusing, or that movie was boring. And here is the big question. When do you use boring? When do you use bored? When do you use exciting or excited? Depressing or depressed? Fascinating or fascinated? Which one to use and when to use? To answer the question, look at this. Participle adjectives, boring or bored, confusing or confused, exciting or excited, embarrassing or embarrassed, ing or ed. Oh, what a confusing decision. Present participles, again, a verb plus ing is used to describe something or someone. I watched an interesting film about American history last night. This film is boring. Let's stop watching it. So, ing to describe something or someone. Ed is used to describe how people feel about something or someone. I'm interested in American history, or I'm bored of my job. I want to find another one. We can often view a situation in one of the following ways. Usually, there is a situation in which we either use a verb plus ed as an adjective, and another situation where we use a verb plus ing as an adjective. And situations are always viewed like this. Either a cause and result, a cause and feeling, or a doer and receiver. For example, if you are in an English class and the grammar really confuses you, you would say, this grammar is confusing. Why you are saying this? Because it is the cause of your confusion. Grammar is the cause of your confusion. So in this case, you are describing grammar. You are not talking about the feeling or the result. You are talking about the cause. Okay? You are confused. Or you can say, I'm confused. Why? Because this is the result of that grammar lesson. It is how you feel about it. It's how you feel about it. So it is either cause and result, cause and feeling, or doer and receiver. So here you can say present participle adjectives, which a verb plus ing can use it to describe or to talk about the cause. The lesson was boring. The book is interesting. Or about the doer of the action. The speaker was boring. While the other one, verb plus ed, we use it to talk about the result or the feeling or the receiver of the action. The students were bored. Why? Because the lesson was boring. The reader is interested. Why? Because the book is interesting. The audience was bored. Why? Because the speaker was boring. Also, imagine these situations. If you read an article in the newspaper and that really surprises you, so how would you describe the article? It was a surprising article. How would you describe yourself? I was surprised by that article. Another situation, if you watch a movie that really fascinates you, how would you describe the movie? That movie was a fascinating movie I saw. How would you describe yourself or your feeling? I was fascinated by that movie. A third situation, if you are in a situation that embarrasses you, how do you describe yourself in that situation? I'm embarrassed. How would you describe the situation itself? What an embarrassing situation. A fourth one, if a chemical irritates your skin, how do you describe the chemical? That chemical is irritating. How do you describe your skin? My skin is irritated. So, to summarize, always it depends on the situation and how you feel or the result. So, if you spilled water on your palms, if you are going to talk about how you feel, you can say, I feel embarrassed or I'm embarrassed. If you are going to talk about the result of spilling the water on your pants, you can say, it's embarrassing or this is embarrassing. This unfriendly dog has big teeth. So if you are going to talk about how you feel about this dog, say, I feel frightened by this dog, or I'm frightened. If you are going to talk about the result, you can say it is frightening. Just seeing this dog is frightening, or this is frightening. I can't understand the instructions. So again, if you are going to talk about your feeling, you can say, I'm confused or I feel confused. The result, it's confusing or this is confusing. He gave good reasons. So if you are going to talk about how you feel about the reasons that he gave, you can say, I feel convinced or I'm convinced by what he said, by the reasons he said. If you are going to talk about the result, you can say it is convincing or this is convincing. So that was all for today. I hope it was clear and it was not boring and you are not bored. thank you for the time being until we see next time.